Hello Pastafarians, it's me, Schizophrenic Mitch. Today's Friday, which is the holy day. I'm back in Denver, and so I tweeted that I was going to preach on the mall, and then I get down here in town and look at the weather. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there definitely is snow and slop accumulating. So I'm not going to go out there, because this is the weather that Flying Spaghetti Monster creates when he doesn't want me to go street preaching. So, I'm down in town, wondered what to do, and I thought I'd just talk to you, maybe get a little sort of gospel study, a little bit of fellowship. I've got my books here with me that I brought with me on my spring tour. I got to read quite a bit of God Is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens, and the Gospel of Flying Spaghetti Monster, written by Bobby Anderson. Bobby Anderson, by the way, followed me on Twitter the other day, so that's fun. Also, we got to 666 subscribers on YouTube. So congratulations to our 666th subscriber, whose name is going to be shown on the screen maybe if I do my editing. So here's the situation. We were partnered with Red Light Studios, and I sort of promised them $1,000 for their half of the budget. I figured a $2,000 budget, $1,000 for me to go out and do all the recording and all that stuff, and then $1,000 for them to sort of edit it and put it up. And so I sort of made them the promise with the GoFundMe, and that didn't go quite as well as I thought it was going to, although it went very well. I thought we were going to get, a few $1,000, and instead we got, over 100, which is very nice. So that paid for a lot of gas while I was out there, and some of the parking, and the copies and stuff. But now I owe like a ton of money to Red Light Studios, and they're very mad at me. And so maybe I'm going to have to do my own tours from now on. I don't think they're going to be involved with us again, so that's unfortunate. But if you do want to help out, I'm selling these books online. You can have this book if you send $50 to me, and this book if you send $50. They all have my, these are the books that I read, and they all have my notes in them. Some of them have some boarding passes, so you as bookmarks. So yeah, just send $50 to me and which of these books you would like, and I'll send them out your way. But we do appreciate all the support we had while we were out there. The Stella Car Rental Company, donated a car. It turns out they didn't charge me for it, so we're very grateful to them for helping us get around down in the very large Los Angeles area. Can't get anywhere without a car. Their public transportation system is sort of not as popular as it is maybe in some other places. It's sort of not really used. It's there, but not very commonly used, I guess. Yeah, so we can talk about Pastafarianism. I've been posting the videos of the spring tour, and I'm getting criticisms from both sides. Both the Christians who are coming in to say to come to the defense of their Christian friends and denounce my truthful ways, and then also by the atheists who are coming in and telling me that I'm being very rude, and that no one should be sort of attacked for their religion, even when their religion is totally obscene and aggressive. They keep saying, unless the church says the specific words, "We hate gays," then nothing they do can count as gay hate. And so I disagree with that. And I also got, so do check out the Reddit if you want to follow those conversations as they happen. I'm on there. You can find me on the Reddit, on the FSM Reddit, and I do check in on the Atheist Reddit quite a bit. So yeah, check me there. Yeah, what else do you want to talk about? I'm not a captain anymore. I lost the captainship, and so I'm back on the Ramshackle, but only as a crew member. So that's really nice, because as the captain, you know, I had to balance all of these ideas of like make sure everyone in the crew is happy and sort of seek the compromises. But now, as just a crew member, I don't have to do that. I can just feel my feelings and voice my opinion and not worry really who I'm upsetting, because it's not my job to sort of balance the passions. It's my job to be passionate as just a normal crew member, and so I can do that. That's fun. And also, I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands this coming year to put stuff up. So hopefully we'll be doing a lot of videos. We've got a lot of series. We just started the Totally Wrong series, where we look at people on the internet and tell you how totally wrong they are. That's been very fun. I've got all of these things. I've got quite a few videos still to do for the tour. One of our very good friend donators online has given us a sort of opening, sort of credits thing, so or like a title card. Hey, so we're going to be putting that in. I'm very excited about that. I got to figure out how to edit really good, because I want to, like, you know, make it see-through and like make the color change. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. We'll see how that works. We can talk about sort of things that I've learned as a Pastafarian, things that have helped me in my life. One of the great things about being a Pastafarian is the ability to rise above the metaphors of the past, to see the new metaphors that will help understand reality, help me be more and more here, more and more present in the real actual moment. And one of the sort of compare and contrast metaphors that I use a lot in my own life to get my own head straight on a lot of ideas about morality, ideas about what it means to be a person and a good person, and how to best use my time, how to make good decisions. And I used to sort of, when I was a myth believer, I used to have a way of looking at the world like it was like a grocery list or a test, a multiple choice test, that every sort of thing I can do, every decision in my life is either a decision between the right answer or the wrong answer, and that I should always choose the right answer, and that everything was a multiple choice question, and we were going to be judged on it, and so each of those boxes on the list, each of those questions was equal to the others, right? A failure on one question counts as a point off, and we're going to grade it on a curve at the end, sort of thing. And so I was really shooting to really trying to get every question right and get the right answer on everything, and then that idea, along with the sort of shopping list, that if there's 10 things on a shopping list and you forget the butter, you've failed, right? You didn't get the shopping list, you didn't finish. If you forget the milk, you fail equally, right? You forget the eggs, it's the same. And so you forget the toothbrush that's on there, you failed. You didn't get all the things on the list. And so all those things on the list are sort of equivalent, they're all in the same size boxes. And so now that I'm Pastafarian, sort of those ideas have become much different to me. I look at it now more like bubbles bubbling up from a very deep ocean, a bubble of desire, right, or need, or value, right, that sort of, these ideas are bubbling, my needs, the things that I want to purchase at a store, for example. There's the major item, and then there's the next item that I want after that, and the next item I want after that. So it's not really go down the list and get these all 100%. It's get the one that matters the most, then after you have that, get the one that matters the most, and then after you have that, something else will be the big bubble. And so you can maybe see 2 or 3 of these bubbles at a time, but there's really no fail. because if you're always taking the top bubble off of it, the top or the second bubble, then you just go for as long as you can. You don't have to finish. You don't have to pop. You don't have to get to the last bubble. So, and that is how it is sort of with our values. Is that we have a major value, and then we have another value, and then another one, and another one, and all the way down to like some very minor values. Like I like symmetry, right? That's very minor. I value symmetry, but I value not harming other people much more. So if I have to harm someone to achieve symmetry, I definitely won't. And so instead of a list of ideas like a grocery list, a list of values, and we check them all off, it's much truer, I guess, to picture them as bubbles coming up, and this metaphor helps to understand that none of the bubbles are the same size, whereas on a grocery list they all are the same size. Asparagus, trash bags, milk, eggs, they all are the same size. They're all in a rectangle, and so failing one is the same as failing the others. But in reality, your values are sort of, none of them are the same size. They're all different size bubbles. And so whenever there's a conflict between two of your values, you instinctively choose the larger one, depending on how your values are set. That there is no such thing as equivalent values. There's no such thing as these equivalent needs. That these come to us, and we can only really focus on 3 or 4 of them at a time, perhaps. That we don't really see all of our values laid out before us like a grocery list. They just sort of appear out of the depths, and we just see the shapes of them, and the largest ones are the most apparent to us. And so I'm not saying that's real, I'm not saying that's how it works. I'm saying it's a better metaphor than the metaphor that I was looking at the world through, the sort of black and white thinking, the sort of true-false test that we have, that no, there's no such thing as a right answer to any of these decisions. There's only mistakes. You can only make mistakes. And so knowing that we get to choose which mistakes we're making really sort of helps free us to make good mistakes. Instead of looking for the best answer, we can make really good mistakes. Because when I was a myth believer, and I believed that the God of the Old Testament didn't like homosexuality, I'm sure I manifested that idea. I'm sure that I manifested that idea a number of ways that I didn't even notice. And so seeing these myth believers come into the chats that I'm having about these things that I'm posting, and just being unable to see my argument because they're so stuck into their one way of thinking, I'm very glad that Flying Spaghetti Monster has enlightened my mind. And so if you do need anyone or if there's anyone in your life who does need some enlightenment, send them my way, because I have been enlightened, and it's quite enjoyable to be enlightened. It's very fun, and I would love to enlighten them, because it's much better to be a waking member of this family than one of the slumberers. So anyway, thanks for listening to my ramble. Thanks again for all the support that the spring tour has made. We're looking into a summer tour because Peter at the door of the Zoe Church said that we can get an interview, and so I'm following up on that. I'm very excited. Hopefully that will come to fruition around June. Hopefully, maybe the solstice, we can get back out to LA. It'll be pretty hot, I guess, but you know, you got to celebrate those round numbers, right? Anyway, yeah, thanks for coming by. See you never.